What was your name again?
Drax the Destroyer.
That is such a lovely name.
Oh.
In X-Men Origins, Ryan Reynolds was said to have made up a bunch of lines on the spot, including a hilarious moment in the elevator when it gets stuck with a bunch of jacked dudes.
Stuck in an elevator with 5 guys on a high-protein diet.
It's just a simple fart joke, but the way he delivered it made it totally memorable. Tony really nailed it when he called Thor Lebowski in Endgame.
One side there, Lebowski.
It's like he read all of our minds. In what was one of the funniest moments of the movie, Winston Duke threw an unscripted and perfectly timed insult at Okoye's appearance.
Fuzzy adornments.
You bald-headed demon.
Show some respect, you two.
And the director loved it so much that it made it into the final cut. In the Avengers, the moment when Tony suddenly yells that a guy in the background is playing Galaga was completely unscripted.
That man is playing Galaga. Thought we wouldn't notice, but we did.
The directors loved it so much that they not only kept it in the film, but also went back and added CGI to the character's screen, making it look like he was actually playing the game. In Guardians of the Galaxy, Chris Pratt improvised a wild Jackson Pollock joke while explaining the messy history of his spaceship, the Milano.
Your ship is filthy.
If I had a black light, the place would look like a Jackson Pollock painting.
It's a cheeky gag, one that flies over most kids' heads since they have no idea who Pollock is, and even if they do, they won't catch the reference to Quill's sexual activity.
You got issues, Quill.
In Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, there's a scene where a guard falls for Drax, and Mantis just can't stop laughing.
What was your name again?
Drax the Destroyer.
Even though she wasn't supposed to break character, her reaction was so natural and hilarious that they decided to leave it in the final cut. In Spider-Man No Way Home, the scene where MJ throws bread at Peter Parker was completely improvised by Zendaya.
I was just a superhero thing. Why'd you do that?
According to Andrew Garfield, she initially picked up a candlestick to threaten him, but then spotted a basket of bread and asked the director if she could use that instead.
Can you not throw the bread again?
It's quite rare to see a serious character like Wolverine cracking a joke. In X-Men, when Wolverine meets Professor X, he says,
Sabretooth. Storm, what do they call you? Wheels?
The Wheels line was actually improvised. The original scripted line was, what do they call you? Baldy. In Spider-Man Far From Home, when Peter tries to shrug off a world-saving mission by claiming he's just not cut out for it, Samuel L. Jackson's character cuts right through his lame excuses.
I mean, I'm just a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, sir.
Please, you've been to space.
The improvised line perfectly sums up the frustration, too. Like, come on, Spidey just fought Thanos, and now he's acting like he's just some regular kid.
Please, you've been to space.
There are a ton of moments in Doctor Strange where Rachel McAdams gets startled, some due to acting, others from pure improvisation, and sometimes even from unexpected things falling over. The iconic line from the Thor movie, when Thor comes to Earth, enjoys the coffee, and demands more in a very unusual way, was actually completely improvised by Chris Hemsworth.
This drink, I like it. Another!
It caught everyone off guard and led to some genuine reactions.
Another!
During Avengers Age of Ultron, there's a scene where Stark is searching for something hidden in an old structure. The script originally had him silently finding a hidden door, but Robert Downey improvised the lines.
Please be a secret door, please be a secret.
Yay!
Tony was originally meant to stay silent during the scene.
Yay!
That little yay has since become one of the most memorable moments of the entire film. In Deadpool 2, after Wade gets imprisoned in the icebox with power-suppressing collars, he just couldn't resist taking the opportunity to poke fun at Hawkeye.
With this collar on, my superpower is just unbridled cancer. Give me a bow and arrow, I'm basically Hawkeye.
The last part was completely improvised, with Wade joking about Hawkeye being an Avenger despite having no real superpowers. In Guardians of the Galaxy, the jackass line wasn't originally in the script. Sean Gunn came up with it while standing in for Rocket, and director James Gunn liked it so much that he had Bradley Cooper include it in the final version.
Bunch of jackasses standing in a circle.
In Avengers Infinity War, after Thor makes his iconic entrance and has a brief reunion with Cap, he accuses him of copying his beard, all of which was completely planned by Hemsworth.
Your haircut? Noticed you've copied my beard.
In Spider-Man No Way Home, after Green Goblin betrays Peter, he's supposed to beat the crap out of him. But Willem Dafoe throws in this insanely creepy smile that was completely improvised, catching Peter totally off guard.
You have the power to destroy the storm. You must do it. Oh, please.
In Avengers Infinity War, Wanda and Vision's emotional goodbye was made even more powerful because Elizabeth Olsen and Paul Bettany improvised the scene as suggested by the Russo brothers, bringing raw and genuine emotion to Vision's death. In Captain America: The First Avenger, after Steve comes out of the capsule looking super muscular, Peggy Carter can't resist and touches his chest, something she did entirely on her own. In Black Panther, Winston Duke improvised M'Baku's gorilla grunt to shut down Everett Ross when he tried to speak. Director Ryan explained that it was the perfect ad-lib, a powerful way for M'Baku to assert dominance and say things without words. The hilarious paper football scene in Avengers Endgame was completely improvised by the actors as a way to pass the time while their characters were supposedly stranded in space.
And you've won.
In Black Panther, there's a hilarious moment when Killmonger walks into the royal palace and casually greets the queen with an unexpected and improvised nickname.
Hey, Auntie.
If that wasn't enough, Michael B. Jordan even repeated the line at the Oscars to show support for Angela Bassett, who plays Queen Ramonde.
Hey, Auntie. We love you.
In Avengers Infinity War, while Tony and Doctor Strange are arguing on Thanos' spaceship, there's a moment when Peter tries to step in, only to get quickly shut down by Tony.
I'm back up.
No, you're still away. The adults are talking.
This wasn't originally planned, but perfectly highlighted Tony's fatherly Iron Man persona. In Guardians of the Galaxy, Chris Pratt accidentally dropped the orb while filming. It was so funny and perfectly in line with Quill's clumsy nature that they decided to keep it in the movie. In Avengers Infinity War, during the tense standoff between the Guardians and the Avengers, there's a hilarious moment that was completely improvised.
Yeah, I'll do you one better. Who's Gamora?
Why is Gamora?
Drax delivers a one-liner that wasn't even in the script, catching everyone off guard. It was so perfectly in character that the directors decided to keep it in the final cut.
Why is Gamora?
In Doctor Strange, the moment where Strange randomly calls Wong Beyoncé wasn't in the script. Benedict Cumberbatch improvised it on the spot.
Books on astral projection.
You're not ready for that.
Try me, Beyonce.
The line was so well received by director Scott Derrickson that he kept it in, and even added a later scene of Wong listening to Single Ladies to keep the joke going.
Come on, she's a huge star, right?
In Avengers Infinity War, the intense battle chant scene between the Wakandan soldiers and Thanos' army was completely unscripted. Since the film was shot after Black Panther, the cast and extras genuinely felt a powerful emotional connection, making the moment even more impactful. In Spider-Man: No Way Home, the three Spider-Men meeting each other and recreating the iconic Spider-Man meme was actually Andrew Garfield's idea.
Peter! Yeah? Oh, sorry. Did you mean that?
You see, Andrew had been a huge fan of Spidey memes on the internet, so when they actually met, he decided to take a shot, and luckily, it got included in the final cut.
Peter. We're all called Peter. Peter Parker? Same again, we're all Peter Parker.
In the intense showdown of Iron Man 2, Tony Stark and Rhodey have a heated moment after the house party is shut down. As Rhodey steps up to confront Tony, Robert Downey delivers a line during the standoff that's so funny, he can't help but laugh.
Give me a fat beat to beat my buddy's chest.
In Spider-Man: Homecoming, there's a moment when Tony Stark leans in to open the car door, and Peter Parker thinks he's going in for a hug.
That's not a hug, I'm just grabbing the door for you. We're not there yet.
Turns out that awkwardly funny exchange was yet another one of Robert Downey Jr.'s improvised gems. In X-Men, during the iconic bar scene where two men try to recruit Wolverine, he was originally supposed to say, "F you."
Go f yourself.
That improvised line looked just as sharp and memorable to the directors, and it ended up being even better. In Thor, there's a scene where Odin is furious at Thor for being reckless, and when Loki tries to butt in, Odin suddenly growls at him. That shout wasn't in the script, it was totally improvised, and you can see how caught off guard Loki is by his reaction. If there's one character always desperate to seem cool, it's definitely Star-Lord from Guardians of the Galaxy. The guy's constantly trying to look badass, so at one point James Gunn decided to take a shot at his delusion, giving us a perfectly timed roast that made it into the movie.
Star-Lord.
Who?
Star-Lord, man. Legendary outlaw.